Good morning. Today's class is going to be a nice easy flow to get you moving after you've been sleeping through the night and kind of work out the kinks. You don't really need much for this class. You're welcome to just do it in your pajamas, but it's nice to have a block on hand just for that extra support if you have one, or maybe a book or a bolster if you have them. If you don't have them, don't stress at all. So we're going to start today in child's pose, and we're going to take a wide knee version of child's pose. So bring your knees out towards the edges of the mat and your big toes together behind you. Sit up nice and tall in your seat so you get a lot of length in your spine. Tuck your chin ever so slightly, roll your shoulders back. Take a big breath in here. Then as you breathe out, just bring your fingertips to the floor and you can start to walk yourself down. So moving nice and slowly. Making sure that you have a lot of space between your knees for your belly, so you might want to bring your knees a little bit wider perhaps. And then you can come down onto your forearms. First of all, maybe stay here. And think about extending your tailbone back down towards the ground and just letting your belly sort of drop down. So you can stay here on your forearms. If you're feeling comfortable, you can extend your fingertips out and rest your forehead on the mat. So we'll be here for a few breaths, just giving you the opportunity to transition into your day in a very gentle and easy way. Perhaps just taking a few deeper breaths and connecting with the weight of your body on the mat. Especially through that exhale, you can feel yourself softening a little. And perhaps getting a little bit more energy through the inhale. So just kind of coming into a more balanced, energetic state. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to move into puppy pose. So you might want to just come up a little bit and move your knees together just slightly, just so that you feel a bit more supported. And then you're going to walk your hands forward and lift your bum up to the sky. Okay, so again, just starting on your forearms and starting to tilt your pelvis up towards the sky. And then if you're comfortable, you can maybe rest your head on your forearms, extending your elbow right on the floor, and allow your chest to drop. And if you're feeling good here, maybe even extending the hands out so you get a bit of an opening through the shoulders as well. So just choose where you want to be and take a few breaths. And as you breathe in here, I want to invite you just to connect with your pelvic floor. So as you breathe in, see if you can think about pressing your pelvic floor muscles away, allowing them to open, and then as you breathe out, feel them drawing in. So just a gentle movement, gentle activation of the pelvic floor as you breathe. And of course you have that feeling of dropping your chest down towards the ground with every exhale, and that should give you a nice opening through your upper back. Let's take 2 more breaths here. All the way through the pelvic floor. And then you can start to send your hips back. We're going to sit against our heels for a little bit. If you're not comfortable on your knees, then you're welcome to just cross your legs and sit cross-legged on the floor if you would like. Totally your choice. Okay, take a big breath in and roll your shoulders back, opening up your chest a little bit, maybe tilting your chin up to the sky and around. Let's go again, nice big roll with the shoulders, opening them up all the way. Okay, And then bring your spine into a neutral alignment, so a gentle tuck of the chin, shoulders are back and down. Just going to drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Take a big breath in here. Think about especially pulling that left shoulder back. Then as you exhale, spin it all the way around so that your chin comes towards your chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Big breath in as you pull this right shoulder back. And exhale it round to the other side. Okay, and then we're going to go the other way. Taking a big breath in and rolling the neck all the way back and around. And then changing direction. So we're just getting some nice movement through the neck. You might get a few clicks and creaks. And then take a few bigger spins all the way around. Just feeling more fully into the neck. Oh, I got some nice clicks there. Change direction as well. Nice. Take a big breath in, reach your hands up over your head. Interlace your fingers and press your palms away, making yourself really, really long. And you're going to bring your hands out in front of you and kind of curl through your upper back. So kind of like you're moving into cat pose here, pushing your palms away and getting the sensation of hugging baby towards your spine as you round through your upper back. And then when you breathe in, you're going to reach your hands all the way around. Interlace your fingers, press your palms together, and tilt your gaze up to the sky. So you're opening up through your chest. Okay, so we're going to breathe out, hands come round, interlace your fingers the way that feels a little bit weird, so not the way you did last time, press away. And then bring them all the way around on the inhale, interlacing them the opposite way you did last time. And opening out through the chest. Let's go for two more nice big movements. Really creating some movement, some mobility in the spine. And keep the hands nice and wide so you're also opening up through the shoulders. Last one. Reaching all the way forward and pressing away. And then all the way back. And lifting your gaze. Nice. Release the hands and reach for the sky. Take a big breath in. We'll take a gentle twist, and all we're going to do is send the left hand forward and the right hand back. So it's an open twist. We're just twisting the top part of your body. Your belly continues to stay forward. So you'll breathe in and reach your hands up. Get a nice stretch. Exhale, twist the opposite way. Bring your gaze behind you. Keep your thumbs pointing up so you have that rotation, external rotation in your shoulders. In and up. And out and open. One more, in and up. And out and open. In and up. Hands to your heart center. Nice. And then just place your fingertips on the floor so that you can curl your toes underneath you and send your hips back towards your heels. So we're looking for a bit of a stretch through the back of the feet and through the toes. So stay here for 4 breaths, or if your feet are feeling very flexible, you can always come and sit up on them as well, depending on where you are. So let's take 3 more breaths here. Just getting that nice sweet spot through the back of the feet. We so often just forget about our feet in yoga, but especially in pregnancy, they're carrying so much of our weight, so it's really important to take good care of them. Okay, releasing the toes now, and just softening your bum towards your heels, and then we're going to come forward onto an all fours position. Okay, so bring your knees a little bit wider, and we're going to spin through the hips, so just rotating forward and around, taking a big breath in for 1 circle, and then a big breath out for the other, and then as you breathe out, open your mouth, let it fall out. 2 more just like that. Move very gently into the hips. Let's see what's on offer from them today. Never really know day to day, so it's always important to take the time. Change direction. Nice big circles. Nice and slow. And nice big breaths as well. Okay, and then we'll return to all fours. Just extend that right foot out behind you now. Press into the heel. Allow for a gentle activation in your belly. So if you touch your belly, you should feel a little bit of strength through the belly, kind of holding, supporting your spine. Okay, and then we're just going to bring the right foot up and the knee out to the side and down. So we're making kind of a circle with the knee. So just extending it forward, backward, round to the side and down. So nice big circles. Try to keep the upper body really still as you move. We're just kind of gently but actively finding some movement, some mobility in the hips. Okay, change direction. So that knee's going to come up and back and then down. Try to keep your breath nice and steady as you move and keep your upper body steady as well. There might be some movement in the spine as you rotate through the hip, and that's cool. Let's go for one more. Okay, and then bring the knee to the floor. Let's take 2 spins through the hips. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then change direction. Big inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Nice, we're getting a bit more fired up now. Back to all fours. Okay, and extend through the left leg. So just press first of all into the heel. You should get a nice stretch there. Okay, and then you're going to lift that left foot up, preparing for those hip rotations. Okay, so the left foot comes up and then around to the side like a dog having a wee. I guess that's the best description for it. And then bring the knee down and then back and up and around. So the key here is really to move nice and slowly so that you can have an opportunity to feel into how every movement feels in your hips. You can find the really sticky spots. You can find the spots that feel really good. Let's change direction. Bring the knee up and back and down. This is such a great movement to do after you've been sleeping because your glutes have been inactive for so long, and you're going to have a whole day ahead of you where you need glute strength to care for your hips, especially as you get later in your pregnancy. So a great movement to do just first thing in the morning just to get the glutes firing. Okay, knee to the floor. Let's take child's pose again. Big toes together behind you, knees out to the sides, send your hips back. And again, you can extend your fingertips forward, forehead to the floor, or you can just rest on your forearms. What we're really looking for is that lengthening feeling of the tailbone as it presses down. You can get a kind of expansion through your lower back. And take a few breaths here. Nice big deep breaths. Okay, and then we'll find our way back onto all fours. So extending back through the right foot once again, press into the heel very gently, and we're going to wiggle our way around to a low lunge. So bring the foot nice and wide, making sure to keep lots of space for the belly, and then you can start to soften into the left hip. This is where I kind of like to use a block. So you can place a block here just for some extra support, but obviously if you want to keep your hands on the floor, you're welcome to do that too. So there's a tendency here for the right knee to kind of drop out to the side, and that's fine, it's not wrong, but the location of the knee will really change the location of the stretch. So you can play with dropping your knee out to the side and notice how that changes where you're feeling the stretch. And then play with trying to get it to point more forward so that it aligns over the ankle, and you can see how that changes it. So for me, I really want to look for a stretch right through the hip flexor. So these hip flexors tend to get really very tight in pregnancy, and a low lunge is so good to release tension there. So I want to keep my knee pointing forward. And taking a few nice deep breaths. Let's take 2 more here. Try to keep looking up through your chest, so you're not kind of rounding down. Invite some openness into your lungs. 1 more. And then we're going to wiggle ourselves back to all fours. So move nice and slowly. Bring that foot all the way around and then back behind you. Okay, we'll take it straight to the other side. So the left foot will come out. Press gently into the heel first of all. And then wiggle it out to the side and forward. Okay, again taking some support if you would like it. And then very gently, the key here is to drop very gently into these kind of deeper poses, so your body has time to adjust and get everything in the right place, so you can avoid any kind of injuries. Okay, so again, find your sweet spot. It might feel nice to have your knee out to the side if you're especially tight through the outer part of your right hip, or you might feel this through the back of the left hip. So actually dropping the knee out to the side might feel really good for you and your body today. And if that's the case, then feel free to do that. Otherwise, I do like this hip flexor stretch, especially first thing in the morning. So a few big deep breaths here. I like to breathe really deeply into the base of my belly, allowing a real expansion. And that kind of helps stretch you from the inside out as well as the outside in. Let's take 1 more. Okay, and then very slowly wiggling yourself back onto all fours. Nice. So keep that block there, might be helpful to have going forward. We're going to lift up into a downward facing dog. So if you're happy in downward facing dog, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, feel free to stay on all fours. Okay, if you're in downward facing dog, you want to keep your bum nice and high, your feet nice and wide, and you're kind of actively pressing your tailbone up and your heels down. Think about spinning the inner part of your elbows to face forward, and you'll bring your gaze kind of at that midway point between your big toes or up at your navel. Take a big breath in and press your hips up, and a big breath out to press your heels down. We're going to step our feet to our hands now, so you can just take tiny steps forward, or you can come down onto your knees and bring 1 foot forward, come up onto 1 knee, and then step yourself forward. So whichever way you prefer to come forward is fine. And we'll take a forward fold, and this is where it's kind of nice, again, just to have that support. Resting your hands on the floor perhaps, or on a block, a book, maybe a bolster. And then we're going to start to straighten out through each leg individually. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend the right knee towards the right elbow, and then start to curve the right hip towards the side, so that if I was looking at you from above, your body would start to make the letter C. Your spine would make the letter C. Okay, so you're curling your right shoulder towards the right hip. And that should hit you quite nicely in your sciatic nerve, probably, if you struggle a bit with sciatica. Okay, so a nice little stretch through the outside of the left hip, down the leg, come back to the center, and then we'll change it up. So the left knee comes towards the left elbow, and you'll spin your whole body around to the left side. One more breath. And then you can return to that center, getting a nice forward fold, a nice stretch through the back of the legs. Maybe letting your head drop. You can also bend your knees here and take a bit of a ragdoll pose. Maybe interlacing the fingers behind your head, making your head really heavy, and that should feel really nice in your spine. You can shake it out a little bit as well. Okay, and then release the hands to the floor. Take a bend in your knees. Just bring your hands to your knees to support yourself as you come up, maybe halfway or so, and then all the way up. to standing. No head rushes, especially first thing in the morning. Take a big breath in, reach your hands up overhead, and then to your heart center. Nice, we'll take a side stretch here. So take a big breath in and reach your hands up. And you're gonna spin your left palm to face out towards the left side, and then take a hold of the left wrist. Excuse me. Okay, so keep your feet kind of wide, hip distance apart or wider, so you have a very stable base. As you inhale, actively pull that left hand up and then spin it open to the side. You can also kind of lift your gaze to the left side. If you're kind of early on in your pregnancy and you feel very stable, so not that you're gonna fall over any second, you can take this a bit deeper by stepping your left foot behind your right. Okay, and then again starting to peel open. So we get the stretch all the way through the left side body. Your choice, wherever you want to be. And think about opening up through the left rib cage here. So as you breathe in, breathe into that space between the left hip and the left rib cage. Let's take one more breath. And then return to center. We're going to switch it straight up. So spinning the right palm to face out. Take a hold of the right wrist and pull it up. So you kind of feel like you're pulling out of your shoulder, and then you'll peel open to the side. Again, you have that option to just spin the right foot behind the left as well, if you would like. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then return to the center. Big breath in as you reach up. And bring your hands to your heart center. So inhale, reach up. And we're going to take these gentle twists again. So exhale, send the right hand forward and the left hand back. You might get a bit of a twist in your hips, that's okay. Breathing, come back to the center, reach up. Exhale, twist. In and up. Exhale, twist. In and up. Get that nice twist. Okay, and then back to the center, both hands up, and we'll come for a forward fold. So from your forward fold, lift up halfway, getting some length in your spine, and then top your hands on the floor. I'm just going to step 1 foot back, coming onto all fours. And then maybe, if you would like to, lifting up the hips into a downward facing dog. So take a big breath in and send your hips up nice and high to the sky. And then as you exhale, soften the heels down towards the ground. Okay, and then we're going to bring both knees down, coming back onto all fours. Take a few spins through the hips, so knees nice and wide. Big breath in as you come round for 1 rotation. Open your mouth, side out. And really do open your mouth. You might even get a nice click through your jaw, releasing a bit of tension. Change direction. Okay. And then you're just going to come onto your side and make your way around onto your bottom. Okay, so sitting on your bottom, if you're quite uncomfortable in your hips, you might want to sit on a cushion here as well. You're going to keep your knees up and just support yourself on your hands behind you. So we're going to hook the right foot over the left knee. You can use your hand as well to help get you there, depending on how big your belly is at this stage. Okay, and think about pressing the right knee away from you and try to keep this right foot active as well. So the toes are kind of pointing up. So you might feel like this is enough for you and you have a nice stretch through the right hip, or you can start to walk your hands forward and sneak this left foot forward, well, towards yourself as well, until you feel that nice kind of half pigeon type stretch through the right hip. And you don't want to push it too hard, so just get to the point where you can feel the stretch. Take a few breaths there. And let that tension ease before perhaps deciding to go a bit deeper if you would like. Let's take one more breath. I also kind of like to just rock the hip a little bit here and feel into that joint a bit more. Okay, so to release, you're just going to creep that left foot forward, creep the hands back to where they were, unhook the right foot and place it back down. We'll take it across to the other side. So left knee over the right, left foot over the right knee. Again, press that knee away from you and get the toes pointing up to the sky. And then you can start to find your way in. Knowing that, of course, this may well feel different on one side than it does on the other. And that's fine. We're very much accustomed to, well, we should be very much accustomed to having differences from one side of the body to the other. And in yoga, our job is really to find out what those differences are so that we can start to correct them and bring a bit more balance to the body. So just a few breaths, and remember, you're not really pushing into your extreme here. You're just finding a little opening, a little bit of space, and then using softness and the breath to expand on that. Let's take one more breath. And then we can just creep our way out. Okay, releasing that left foot down. So you can just let your knees fall side to side. Get some space going in the hips. And then for our final trick, we're going to take like a very loose, open form of Baddha Konasana. So bringing the soles of the feet together, but not necessarily drawing them in. Keep them distance away from you. And letting your knees fall out to the side. You might also want to just remove the flesh out from underneath your sit bones so you feel like you're sitting forward in your pelvis. Okay? And again, breathe in and get a lot of height through your spine. And as you exhale, you're going to pivot from the hips. And you can let your hands rest on your feet. And eventually, just letting your body fold over your legs. So very easy opening through the inner leg. So allow your whole upper body to soften now. And let's take 2 more breaths. And then find your way up. Okay, bring your hands underneath your knees to guide them together. And then you can sit back on your hands, let your knees drop side to side. Again, a little gentle release. Okay, so we're going to finish in Sukhasana, just a nice comfy seated position. You're welcome to sit on a chair as well if you're not that comfortable sitting on the floor or on a cushion. And bring your hands together at your heart center, taking a big breath in and drawing the crown of your head up. And then softening your knees down, softening your shoulders as you breathe out. So looking for, once again, that grounding quality on the exhale and energy on the inhale. Feel the heat between your palms. You can press your thumbs into your chest, maybe connecting with your heartbeat. Noticing how you're feeling physically and mentally and even emotionally now compared to when you first came to your mat this morning. And taking a moment just to picturing how it's going to play out for you, how you want to feel throughout the day. What do you need? If you're very stressed out, perhaps you need some calm, some peace. Perhaps you need to feel grounded. If you have a busy day ahead, maybe you need energy, some determination, some grit. Whatever it is that you need for the day ahead, go ahead and declare it right now. And throughout the day in that way. Take a last energetic inhale through your nose. Feel the crown of your head pull up, open your mouth, exhale it out. Namaste.